Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Hey everyone, we still have people logging on, so we'll just give it another minute or two and then we can get started.
Should we start with a round of feedback collection and feedback regarding the community mode and the transition?
Sure, we can start the meeting however you'd like, Max. Looks like we have just about everyone, a good number of people if we want to go ahead and get started. Okay, I know that most of y'all were on, I guess it was like 2 weeks ago when when TNG and Max walked through the proposal of turning Magma into a community-run project. Is there any feedback? Max, I don't know if there's anything to show here.
I pasted the link in the meeting notes. Yeah, I want to clarify I did that in my role as TSC chair and as spokesman from the governing board, not as in my role as someone from TNG, but that's just a minor thing. So yeah, the Google Doc is shared. There was the ask for feedback. I have received some feedback in chats, in one-to-one calls. I have not yet received big change requests, or I still feel like there's more feedback somewhere that I need to collect. and I would be happy to understand what your opinions are about that plan, about that transition. What is it going in the right direction or not? And I'm happy to answer questions related to that transition right now, if there are any.
Maxim, what is the best way to submit comments? My basic, so the thing that I would submit is I think that the plan for our technical release is sound. Although I'm gonna, I want to be sure that the future stakeholders are on board with it. But beyond that, I think the plan is sound, or at least the goals. And I'm not sure how to submit that feedback.
I think comments to the Google Doc, since that's the working document, would be very helpful. If that's not a good place to express that feedback, let me also create a GitHub ticket, a GitHub proposal that links to the Google Doc as its content. And I will link it in the meeting notes. And then you also have the possibility to add Google Doc, to add GitHub comments as another way of commenting on the proposal.
That makes good sense to me.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Please, if you have any concerns with the proposal, with the outlined goals, with the direction, please express them here in the TSC channel, or directly in chat to me. And
yeah, it'd be great to get any feedback from folks in the next day or so, because the governing board will be meeting this week to move forward and vote on a budget and plan for 2023, because we kind of have come down to the wire now that December is just right around the corner. So any feedback that people have, we would like to have that ASAP.
Sure.
All right, if there's nothing else on that, we can go to the check-in, because I know there are a few things that we want to see if there are any updates. It has been a couple of weeks since we've met. I don't see Vipin on the call, so we can skip university updates and go to release updates. I don't know if there are any release updates.
I think
Right,
that
DevOps. There
regarding
are
updates, there was a new degradation mentioned in 1.8 that was brought up by a small deployer, and that's something that we should have a look at. So there's yet another ticket that we need to add to the 1.8 backlog, and yeah, I think it would be good to have some look at that, since it affects the deployment. Yeah.
Yes, so Max, I have updated the ticket for additional logs. I'm just waiting for the inputs, because he just mentioned the problem, but we will need some running logs. So I've updated the ticket. I'll follow it up.
Perfect. Yeah, and next.
DevOps.
Okay. Yeah. So regarding DevOps, actually, I have a question that the Artifactory switch that is happening, I see that, okay, there are progress on the channel, but if things are not happened like in time, like before 1st of December, like what will happen then?
Chaos, do we have him on the call? Is Fabio here? No, he is
No.
Does
here.
not look like we have Fabio.
Mhm. So
This,
yeah, the current state is that data is migrated, but the signatures is not working or are not working. So, or just for I think 1 or 2 repositories, which is rather limited. You can install from there by switching off signing, but that's bad. And Fabio is working on that, and yeah, we are trying to be on time. As far as I know, there's no option to continue the old Artifactory.
so yeah, so if there is any kind of auto mechanism that will automatically disable our current Artifactory, or we have to do it manually?
There's a license that runs out. It will just stop working.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
in that scenario, our deployments will start to fail.
Yeah, and we have not yet tested migrating, deploying from the new Artifactory, since there are still issues that were not resolved.
And we have 3 days left, including today, to fix
Yes.
this.
Correct. Yes, this is very urgent.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's
That's right.
we had a plan. The plan did not was not adhered.
Okay. So the Kubernetes issue which I have been working on. So actually, this is an EKS issue which is officially posted on this AWS container roadmap, and the issue is open from their side. So I've already updated that in the issues list. I'm keeping an eye on it, and Terraform has come up with an alternative way which require us to create some interfaces, then remove it just so the cluster starts working. This is a CNI issue, container network interface, which is failing. But yeah, AWS is also working on that side. That's why on the latest deployment of their cluster, we are facing this error, but the previous deployments are working just fine. If we do it manually from, let's say, dashboard, then it's working fine. But yeah, from Terraform side, we cannot run it directly. There is a workaround, so I'm working on that. When this is officially fixed on AWS side, then yeah, I'll just make the deployment clean. Otherwise, it's really messy right now. And one more thing, Max, a lot of community members are also asking if we should also have an official documentation for the on-prem orchestrated deployment on our Dockersaurus, because it's hard for them to find the docs. Should we do something like that?
Yeah, sounds like a valuable documentation.
Okay. So let me see how we can move that docs. And yeah, the Dockersaurus docs will be remaining there, right? That's not going away.
So
Because
lost the last sentence.
So the Dockersaurus docs, I think that's coming from GitHub pages, so it will just stay as it is, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because we will be continuing the GitHub license.
They
Yeah. Okay.
What is with GitHub license? Sorry, I have audio issues, I think.
So the GitHub license, we have that, right? The organization.
No, yeah, there's no change in GitHub setup. We will preserve the same GitHub setup as we have.
And as we discussed like a few months back that we have to remove the non-active members, are we planning to do something about that?
Yeah, I think there is the proposed plan that we should follow to clean up the organization, yes. I think there was a proposal 4 weeks ago or something like that, but it's not yet.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
proposal, and I believe it was, sorry, I'm just getting back into the swing of things this morning. It was approved by the TSC.
Yes.
Let me pull it up. So there is a way to remove the inactive members, but the code owners for each group will need to vote to get those inactive ones removed.
I think it's the code owners group itself needs to act on that and needs
Yes.
to clean up.
And I'm
itself.
happy to help where needed.
Would probably be good to go through and to clean up.
Yeah, because that will save us some cost from the GitHub side. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I created this GitHub discussions channel. I also added some scripts there for filtering out. If the community wants, we can have discussion there or any other channel. So we can do this quickly.
I think the biggest cost in GitHub is currently code spaces.
Yeah, I don't know if someone is using that very frequently. Do we really need that? So if nobody needs it, then we can get rid of it. So we can do local development. No need to work on the cloud. Yeah, so if we have enough members, we can like make a proposal or do voting on this, because that will really save a lot of cost on the GitHub side.
I don't know. I don't think that this needs a vote. This is a purely financial decision that there was probably also no vote to enable code spaces. That's just an LF decision.
Yeah. Okay then. Okay, understood. Yeah. Okay. I think that's all.
Okay, then we will we'll skip the Artifactory migration update since we don't have Fabio, and we'll need to just follow up with him offline in the Slack channels, and then we'll go to testing. Tian, do you have any updates?
Yeah, thanks, Akenda. For the testing, we don't have much to update. I just want to mention some activity going on with the OEI team. We are continue working with the 4G Federation test, and we still have the problem with the federated integration and PCI, but we are working on that. For the 5G SA tester, we also have the first version of the tester, and then we are testing with OEI core. We bring to Magma CI. For the CI maintenance, we also working with several items. For the S1AB testing, we for the ARM on AWS, our colleague Sarah already sent an email or Slack message to Mark and Jordan and discuss offline for that. Also for the LT intake test and CWF intake test, for the moment we don't have any update. We still have the checking, and then but we don't have how to say we don't have any. We don't know who is the owner for the task for the moment, but still we keep track the problem. So that's all from my side. Any question for me? If not, thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Lucas, any security updates?
Yes. Okay, so I have these items. The AIE 0 disclosure, we've discussed this previously. What this comes down to is, I think, kind of some architectural issues related to emergency mode. I've broken it down into 4 issues. I have some source code, pretty close to being ready to push for part of this. I need to call out that the future of the project as a whole, is obviously closely interlinked with this code. For example, it would need to be tested because it goes pretty deeply into the core of the 3GPP stuff. The code that I have to submit addresses directly this item. So padding the list of algorithms will change. I don't yet have work to change the documentation, which can be cumbersome and time consuming, even though it's fairly trivial. And there's going to be I'll need some testing time to check this out. I don't have the technical resources to verify that for sure. So let me just stop and call for comments and discussion. I think there's a question of what is the security profile going forward? Like on January 2, what do we intend to leave there? Would these changes need to be in place? Would those security guarantees need to be in place?
Yeah.
Put this down.
If I can break the ice from the end user perspective, I mean, the critical thing will be security. Nobody will consider deploying product which is not secure in a commercial environment. So security will be, if we want to have if we want to leave a product which is commercially viable, security should be one of the critical components that we need to address before doing anything else. I mean, my opinion from the end user perspective.
I'll just take off my functional hat and talk in terms of product. I agree. I think it's necessary for a viable product, and I think that this is a pretty big vulnerability.
Yeah, I mean, it's very bad. I mean, sounds very bad even when you discuss about it. So of course it's big vulnerability, which is going to be seen very negative by the end users.
Yeah. I think it's conceivable that somebody who is a big enough expert could explain why it's a non-issue. It is possible, although I don't know what they would say. Should I just move forward from here and we'll come back to this, or how do people want to approach it?
Sure, Lucas, maybe we can have a look at it on the website, and yeah, we'll see whatever possible we can do testing.
Okay.
In the ticket.
Okay, so next item, in terms of the overall transition, we should, thin down the number of people who have security privileges, which is extremely long right now. I'll do that, but I need a list of the people who are going to be present going forward.
How much time do you need, Lucas, in order to do this? Like, when do you need this list so that you can clean this up this year?
It's like a couple hours at the most. Probably less.
Sorry, I missed that. What was the number?
It's an hour or two.
It's an hour's work. So you need time. You need to get the list before this Christmas holidays, say.
Exactly. So it's a trivial task, but it's an important task.
Noted.
So who would create that list?
Well, I would say right now we're in a bit of a transition period, so we might get clarity on this later this week.
I can kind of freehand it. If people want me to do that, because a lot of them are very obvious. You know,
Yeah, I assume that's the case, right? Looking at the names you have there, some of them aren't even active. Some of them aren't even at their current previous positions, right? Like Michael Chen and Aswin are gone, you know, in their previous roles, so they don't belong there. But we do need to make sure we have at least a few key players that are involved in this project there going forward, right? I think that's the bigger question I have, is who's going to be responsible for this going forward, and how is this managed in a community-based project without a board, without these leads present.
Agreed. And actually, maybe that's a kind of a high level conversation that we need to address directly, is what's the plan for security going forward?
Yeah, and I suspect that question gets a little clearer once we understand the direction of the program going forward and how that structure is going to look like. And again, that's the topic of discussion for the board meeting this week.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that we're going to have clarity for the TSC next meeting.
I could attend as an advisory voice on that particular topic if people want to talk about it. I just want to be available as a resource. Okay, so next agenda item. GitHub is a new feature for handling vulnerability disclosures. We found that disclosures are an important resource. The way that we currently do this is it is linked to my company OSPOCO's resources, and like I have like a SMS alert set up to send me alerts, and GitHub has a way to do it that I think is better. I propose switching over to this. What is the community's feeling?
I think that's the right direction. And if it allows us to manage vulnerabilities within GitHub tools, then we should go towards that direction. That also gives the control to the corresponding maintainers in the community, or to the privileged members of the community, and that's the right direction.
I would have small concern on the using GitHub in the respect of who all are going to be the recipients of the information before the vulnerability is patched. If this is controlled, who is receiving the information, then it's good tool. But if this is disseminated to everybody, then actually we are creating even bigger risk.
Right now, security findings that GitHub creates automatically are just visible to a limited number of people. I think it's you need privileges or privileged access above maintainership to see them. And these private vulnerabilities are probably at the same or at a higher level of criticality.
I believe the answer to that is probably the same as the answer to this, right? It's this people with security manager role. That's my guess.
That and above, yes.
Yeah. So it sounds like there are no dissenting voices. Was that Tim speaking? Tim, are you good with how things went? Okay, so I'll call it for this, and that's it for me. Thank you for this time.
You made a proposal. Is that something we can already decide on? I'm not sure if we have sufficient or enough people in the round to do a TSC vote on that. But I also don't know if it's clear enough.
I will write a formal proposal and have it ready for next Monday.
Okay. That was security.
Yes, complete.
Next would be feature development, if anyone wants to speak up. No, then better engineering, starting with C++ migration.
Yeah, thanks, Sube. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, we can see it.
Thank you. Yeah, almost like we completed porting the C files to CPP. Few are left, like main functions and common and library files are left out. So we just halted that activity because to have the parallel work in coordination with the other task. So the we are working on the converting the hash table to the protobuf map. We have started with MME app and NAS, and rest of the tasks are completed. Only the MME app and NAS are left out. So Ankit and Pruti both are working on these tasks, so this can be parallelized. And by porting the C structures to protobuf structures, I'm working on this SP gateway task. Yeah, like the coding part is done and the testing is in progress. That's all with respect to CPP migration. And I have one question is like, since we are working on this activity, there are some issues are arising. Should we look into the issues or like, or what is the priority?
You mean what's the priority, migrating or fixing issues?
Yes.
I think that depends on the issue. If it's something that is a drive-by fix, I think it should be fixed. If it's something that means huge refactoring and planning, I think that's something that would be better to via backlog and
Okay.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to say. Depends on the issue. It's
Right. So I guess we'll start filing the defect name. I guess if you can create a label and you start creating the PRs or the tickets, at least we know like what kind of testing might be needed during the release time. Yeah. So I think fixing can be simple fixes can be taken, but at least let's start filing the defects. Whatever we are observing during the testing or during the integration, and then we can see if something needs to be prioritized, and also it will give a hint on how much testing we need to do during the next upcoming release, because I'm guessing that it might need some good amount of testing, right? So that we can plan based on the number of issues and the effects. That is just my opinion.
Yeah, right now what issues I see is like one issue I'm seeing. I'm not able, like other issues are like with respect to LT is not visible as such, or like it is not assigned maybe.
Okay, so what I was thinking was there are some already critical issues which are getting filed on 1.8. So yeah, so I'm thinking just if we just file the known defects, or then we can get a holistic picture on how to prioritize. But yeah, you can take up that one just
Okay. Yeah, any question? That's all from me.
Thanks, Rashi. Basil effort, Nils? do we have those today?
Yeah, hi everyone. So on the Bazel side, so one topic is that now for a long time we've been supporting to build the access gateway, the LTE access gateway with both Make and Bazel. At some point we would like to drop the support for building it with Make, and we are ready to do that, but still waiting for feedback and concerns. So there was some concern by OAI to make it work in their Docker images for their Jenkins, and we've worked together with them to make it work there. But we are still ultimately waiting for green light there, and yeah. And also we currently have the ongoing topic of finding ways to have fast Bazel builds in CI without a remote cache. So currently we have a remote cache, but we don't know in the future how it will evolve. So this is why we're currently looking into this direction, how we can do it without remote cache, but still have good performance. Any questions?
All right, thank you. Any data path updates, Yogesh, Nick?
I think from my side, Kendall.
Okay. And I'm assuming there's not any roadmap updates, but Max, please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, there are not.
Okay.
I think the community plan, the community mode, that's the roadmap update basically.
Right, makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay, then we will go to the two proposals.
Yeah, there are two proposals that map into the same region, or that are also for simplifying the maintenance of the code base. The first thing is there's still the source folder. That proposal is already a few months old. We asked, I think the last TSC meeting when we discussed it, there was agreement that it would be good to drop that folder, but to ask the people that invested in starting that migration. We asked them, no feedback came back. So I would say right now it's a good thing to continue that proposal and to drop the confusing and unused source folder from our source tree. And I think that's something where it would be good if we could vote on, but maybe we are not able to do that in that round. I have not counted. Kendall, are we able to have a vote here?
Let me triple check here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just a little shy of quorum, so we may need to take that to Slack.
Yeah, I think that's would be great, and I think it's easy cleanup that gets rid of a lot of code that no longer needs to be maintained and never was used. And that was a start of a big refactoring that never was continued. Okay. The second proposal that is on the agenda item was already discussed, I think 4 weeks ago. It is the proposal to head in the direction of merging the build code for the Debian and normal natively installable artifacts with the build code that generates the container images, namely to create the containers with Bazel There was limited discussion in that proposal. I'm not sure if there was a conclusion yet. I'm still in favor of it, but it's not 100% clear as the source folder for me. But I think that's also an item where it would be good to decide on a direction. And but maybe it's something where more feedback is required. I would say it's a candidate for dropping it to the TSC folder and asking who needs feedback and who has questions regarding that proposal, and just to highlight it. And if there is sufficient clarity, I think it's also something where a vote could happen. But that are the two proposals that are in the agenda. Are there any questions right now?
Did you say we want both of those to go to a vote after this? Or just the first one?
I would create a vote for the first one, and I would create the ask who needs more input, or who would be able to vote on the second thing, since it's more complex, just to check that everyone understands the implications.
Okay.
And if there's a yes, I would also suggest to vote on the second one. But it's less clear if everyone has insights and understands the implications. Okay. Any other business?
Okay, if not, then we can go ahead and end 20 minutes early.
Yeah. Hey,
Thanks, everyone.
have a nice
Have a good
day.
day.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks, bye.